out making it obvious, folding his cycles into mine so his other guests weren't sitting there forgotten while he was trapped. He'd shoot me these grateful, exhausted looks every time he passed me, and I'd give him a nod like I see you, you're okay, keep going. But here's the thing I didn't know yet, here's the part that changed everything for me. I didn't know what she was saying to him. Because while I was watching from a distance and seeing a demanding customer, Danny was standing at that table being told, in a voice clearly meant to carry to her friends, that he was the worst server she had ever seen in her life. That he had no idea what he was doing. That she didn't know how he even got hired. She would make these little comments every time he came over, just loud enough, just pointed enough, while her friends laughed or at least didn't tell her to stop. And Danny, quiet, careful, starting over Danny, just kept smiling and taking it because what else do? You need the job. You need the shift to end. You just keep going. I didn't find out until later. I didn't find out until after their food was done and their plates were cleared and they were sitting there taking up a closed section, and Danny came up to me looking like he'd been wrung out and asked me how to process an employee discount. Employee discount. I blinked. Employee? That's when it all came out. She wasn't just some random demanding customer. She was a trainer. At our other location. She had come in, recognized that Danny was new, and spent the entire meal treating his first solo section like her personal performance review of someone she'd already decided to fail. She knew exactly what she was doing. She knew how restaurants worked, she knew the pressure of a first real shift, and she used every single bit of that knowledge to make it worse for him. And now she wanted stacked employee discounts, multiple employee numbers on one check, and free birthday cakes for the table, and the birthday song, immediately please. I have thought a lot about what I felt in that moment. I've tried to find a word for it that isn't just furious, because furious doesn't quite cover it. It was that specific, clarifying rage you feel when someone hurts a person who was already vulnerable, who was already trying their hardest, who had done nothing to deserve it. The kind of anger that doesn't make you want to yell, it makes you go very, very quiet and very, very focused. I told Danny to go get the cakes ready but not to bring them out yet. And then I went to find my manager. Now, I want to take a second here and tell you about this management team, because they are genuinely a critical part of the story, and they deserve their flowers. Good restaurant managers are rare. Like, actually rare. Most of the time you get someone who's either checked out completely or so worried about their numbers that they'll throw their own staff under the bus to keep a table happy. The kind who will apologize to a rude customer and then turn around and tell you that you need to handle it better. I've worked for those managers. I know what it feels like. These managers were not those managers. They were the kind of team that had your back, actually had your back, not just in the break room but in front of customers if it came to it. They took pride in their staff, and they took pride in how their restaurant was run, and they understood that the word-of-mouth reputation they had built meant something. It meant that every person who walked through the door was supposed to leave feeling taken care of. That was the whole thing. So when I pulled my front-end manager aside and gave him the rundown, the relentless demands, the public humiliation, the employee discount stacking, the free birthday cakes, all of it, I watched his face shift from his normal calm into something that I had very rarely seen from him. Quiet rage. Not loud, not explosive. Just this absolute stillness and a look in his eyes that said someone had made a very significant mistake tonight. He asked me what I wanted to do. I told him. He smiled, that slow, satisfied smile, and told me to do it, and then told me he had some phone calls to make. I almost asked what he meant. Then I realized. She had given her employee number. He knew which location she worked at. And this was a company where the managers knew each other. I left him to it and went to gather every single person I could find. Here's the thing about a restaurant that's mid-close. There are actually a lot of people around. The dining floor is winding down, but the back of house is still cleaning up. People are restocking, doing their side work. I grabbed servers, I grabbed bussers, I grabbed a food runner, I grabbed a